Oh, man. Well, as we enter the final match of today to see who our last semifinalist is going to be, I will once again mention the Patreon. This is a fully Patreon-supported tournament. Well, actually, this tournament's not fully Patreon-supported. The KSL in general runs on the Patreon. The Summer Slam is also supported by OSC Esports, who put on a ton of events. They sponsor a ton of events. They have big championships at the end of the year. Huge shout out to those guys. They've been supporting StarCraft for 11 years at this point. And thank them. I thank them from the bottom of my heart for adding in $500 of this prize pool. Bring this up to $4,500. If you'd like to add to this prize pool, there is a match-arena where you can add money specifically for the Summer Slam. Or you can join the Patreon and support not only this tournament, but the weeklies as well, and you will receive replays from this tournament and those replays. And the command is broken in chat, so I will link the Patreon and the match arena manually. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be below in the description. Wow, look at that, amazing. Now let's get into this match. I'll actually cast some StarCraft for once in my life. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the Shopify Rebellion Terran, ByuN. And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner, the onside gamer, Solar. Little Terran versus Zerg action, TvZ action here. Now this is kind of cute. What is ByuN doing? This is okay, so the barracks going straight to reactor. The second barracks going straight to tech lab. Third barracks coming up. No Marines, no Reapers. No barracks in the wall. ByuN is throwing a cheeky curveball at Solar right now. Solar's got to be feeling a little confused. He's going to send the Ling in. He's going to be like, where's your stuff? What is going on? And he's actually going to scout up here, the two racks. Now, this is ByuN. This looks like a 2-1-1. This looks straight up just like a normal 2-1-1. But there's 4 barracks right now. My goodness. It's a lot of Marines about to come out. Solar going straight for +1 Carapace. This feels like a very early +1 Carapace. And that usually implies a Zerg that wants to all in with like Lings and Roaches. So, I don't know. Part of me is expecting a Roach Warren to go down. It's a fast +1 Carapace. That's so weird. I feel like these are two very strange builds interacting against each other. And one of them, I think, is going to just get swamped by the other. I don't know, though. I feel like there's a chance here for it to end up in a weird, even position, depending on when each of these players is planning on hitting. Now, ByuN's got to hit pretty soon, right? He's got Sim almost done. Combat Shields is about halfway. He's probably going to try to hit around when Combat Shields finishes, because that's going to be his big power spike. After that, if he waits too long, Solar is going to be able to hold on. And ByuN does not have any longevity with this. There's no medevacs. The follow-up is going to be more Marines for a while. He's just now putting down the factory. So if he's going to go, it's going to be now. That Carapace is almost done, but there's no Roach Warren. This is just for the Lings, it seems. He wants those Lings to survive longer. See how it goes for Solar. The Marines are hitting right now. They have Stim. They're about to have Combat Shields. 12 more Lings on the way. Not a ton out for Solar right now, but he does have a decent amount. ByuN gonna let a few more Marines show up. He's thinking about pushing in. A lot of Queens here too, though. There's the big Stim. Drones getting pulled away. A few of them going down already as the Marines dive on top of this base. They put themselves in a nice little position as well with the minerals here. The Lings do not want to fight against that. The Queens don't have enough DPS on their own, though, and Solar's in a little bit of trouble as these Queens are starting to go down. The Ling reinforcements not quite coming out fast enough, but he will hold on. 7 drones is pretty painful, though. He's now down 7 workers from the Terran. The Carapace definitely helping there a little bit. Helps those Queens as well. Marines getting killed on the retreat, so this is a nice little grab for Solar. But ByuN, now he's very close to that follow-up. The starport's almost done, and he can have another push with Medivacs in a very short period of time. He's going to drop his 3rd base behind this, so while ByuN did get some good economic damage done, he's pretty significantly far behind economically where you'd normally expect the Terran to be. 6 minutes and the CC's just going down now in the main base. It's not really great for the Terran. He needed to get damage done. I think he got just enough done to make this worthwhile for him, but not enough done where he feels super ahead. But he's just going straight across the map again. The Medivacs are not here yet. I'm a little surprised to see him pushing across so early, but I think that was the idea, to try to catch Solar when he's trying to just drone and get these bases up. Does Solar have enough here to hold on against this many Marines? I don't know, man. The rest of these Lings aren't out yet. And +1's about to finish on the Marines as well. It's going to make him so much more powerful. ByuN's not even waiting for that, though. He's diving in. Nice thing about the Marines not having that healing, though, is the Lings and Queens do clean them up after a little while. Bane speed now on the way for Solar. He's got +1 melee coming up as well, so Solar's actually been ahead on upgrades this whole time. He will continue to be so as that +1 melee finishes up. But ByuN now has the Medivacs. He's got a little bit more oomph to this push. Solar gonna morph some Banes against it now. He definitely needs to get those Banelings going. Creep Trooper's in a little bit of trouble. Oh, the one Ling. It's not even bird, it's just sitting there. Beautiful. Oh, there's a tank here as well for ByuN. Lings and Bane's trying to push this away, but without Bane speed, it's so hard to get on top of these Marines. As I say that, though, Solar does get a nice little connection, forces the lift up, kills the tank on the low ground as well. Pushes ByuN away, at least for the time being. 6 Queens have gone down on 106 Lings. That is crazy. Trades here. A little bit better for ByuN, but honestly, very, very similar. And Solar with that 1-1. 1-1 about to finish for ByuN, though. Keep those upgrades relatively even. The Marines very overstinned. Gonna have to run away, though. They pick up. Get on out of there. ByuN's got another separate push. He's been building a lot of Marines this game. He's got a lot to push out on the map with. This one has a tank as well, but that tank is just gonna get jumped on immediately. Doesn't even get the second shot off. Solar continues to have some really solid defense here. This looked dicey a couple of times, but Solar has been holding on. And I feel like that's a hallmark of his playstyle, is to just hold on through everything. He weathers the storm, and it feels like he's just taking hits left and right and left and right until he gets to that place he wants to be at, wherever it is. The Banelings, the tech, whatever it happens to be, he gets there and then he pushes back one time. And what I worry for is that, ByuN, is that Solar's been weathering that storm, and I feel like at some point he might just be able to push back. And that's when things get scary for ByuN, because the Hive is on the way, Hydra upgrades are coming out. If Solar can keep weathering this storm, I think he's going to have a big chance to push back into ByuN. ByuN's been pushed mostly back into his base, just a little squad of Marines out here. But he is going to push out again, bringing a couple of tanks with the Marines this time. Solar, though, sees this, sending some units over to deal with it. He still has some units back on this side as well, which is good because there's going to be a hit there. Oh, but Solar trying to jump on this before the tanks are sieged, and he's going to be able to kill these tanks for sure. That's going to leave the Marines a little bit more vulnerable. The Marines have killed a lot of the Banes, but I think Solar's still going to be able to hold on here. Lings and Banes pushing away on the other side. Good target fire from ByuN. Excuse me, from ByuN. But he still has to pick up and get on out of there. ByuN does have a 4th CC finishing up, and while Solar's done a great job defensively, he hasn't gotten any run-bys in or anything for a while. He did have a couple lings, kill a couple of SCVs, but so far, no huge economic damage on ByuN's side of the map. So ByuN still powering up back at home. Oh, he's going to take the forward 4th base. He's been very, very aggressive this game, pushing through the middle of the map all game. So I guess it's not too surprising to see that Solar trying to push this back, but runs into the siege tank, decides not to go for it. Oh man, an Adrenal getting canceled here. Very, very painful for Solar. He needs to get his units up there. The Lings and Banes trying to get up there to defend. This is a really nice drop for ByuN. This is going beautifully. A couple of drones going down. The spawning pool getting killed while it's researching a critical upgrade. We've got Queens going down over here. ByuN is finding some big damage. Solar struggling to handle this. Finally kills the rest of this. Only 1 Marine left in those medevacs. The Banelings, though, getting a nice connection there as ByuN doesn't pay attention for half a second. And he's got to pull back to the siege tank and to the newly formed planetary. I don't think Solar realizes that the forward base is what's been taken. But now that he's killed that drop in the back of his main base, he's going to push forward. And he has that hide. He's got those Vipers. He's going to hit a nice blinding cloud here. Really hard to see where the blinding clouds are on this map. But that's going to be a dead 4th base. These tanks are sieged up, but they're all alone. And suddenly, ByuN loses everything. And I feel sometimes a little prescient, as that is exactly what I expected to happen there. ByuN pushing, 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 and Solar just defending, taking hits. Certainly, it's not perfect defense anywhere, but getting to where he needs to be, getting those Vipers out, and getting that army to that solid state where he just has so much Lingbane Hydra. The moment that drop is handled, he pulls all that back from the main and goes for a big swarm forward. It's just too much for ByuN to handle. When you're pushing that hard, you're unlikely to have enough units on the defense in that situation. Excellent game one there from Solar. It's funny, sometimes the Korean players will try to type in Korean, but their keyboard will still be in like the English setting. So they'll just type a bunch of random English characters. That just happened to both. Oh, it just happened to ByuN twice is what happened. I'm sorry, the bot isn't working in chat right now. I got you though. That's our bracket. I don't know why my bot has stopped working about halfway through the stream. Every single stream lately. Like I genuinely have no idea why. I wish I could figure it out. But, you know, it's just one of those things that's happening right now. It's just how life is sometimes. Let's get into game 2. Because life might suck sometimes, but StarCraft doesn't. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. And his opponent in the lower right-hand corner, the Onside Gaming Zerg, Solar. Solar trying to be the second onside gamer to get into that semifinals. If that does happen, if Solar gets there, we'll actually have 2 team kills in the semis. Because I just realized that the top side semis is 2 Dragon Kitesy gamers in Dark and Hero. And then this would be Solar versus Maru, which feels like it happens so often. But ByuN obviously still has quite a few games to make this a series. And ByuN's beaten Solar many times, I'm sure. Wouldn't be crazy to see a comeback here from ByuN boy. Going for the 2 racks Reaper in the wall, strat his good old build. ByuN already took down Scarlet today. Had a really nice series at the start of the day against her. Scarlet played really damn well. I honestly, like, Scarlet's looking so good right now. I feel like she's in great shape, at least against the Terrans. Her games versus RyeOn yesterday were really sick. And then against ByuN today were so good. I'm really incredibly impressed with Scarlet's play right now. It's really cool to see too, because I know she's been working on Zero Space, and I don't know, I feel like she's got a lot of RTS stuff going on to still be this damn good at StarCraft. But we got the Reapers coming across now. CC going down. Oh, that's a third barracks behind this. Are we going to see the fourth barracks from ByuN? I feel like that'd be very similar to what he did last game. Obviously, he skipped the Reapers last game. But if he decides to go for the 4 barracks build here, it'd be kind of interesting to see. Now, I don't know that I know. Oh, you know what? I have seen the 3 barracks variety. I actually think Gumiho just did that in the last series. Now that I say that out loud, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the 3 barracks variety of this opening. So going to be a lot of Marines that can push across the map. Going to delay that 3rd CC though. Usually we see a 3rd CC already on the way. But ByuN obviously prioritizing the Marines, wants to get some big pressure going across the map onto Solar. I was saying this earlier, but it's really cool to see Maru today, who played a series against Ragnarok and just did the 3 racks or the 2 racks Reaper opening into the 2-1-1 and a 3rd CC every single game. And then ByuN does the 2 racks Reaper opening, but like has 87 different variations of a follow-up. And I actually feel like Solar probably saw that 3rd racks. Yeah, he sees the 3rd racks. So he knows what's happening. He knows what could be coming. But these Marines running across the map right now feels a bit surprising to me. And I think ByuN is just trying to surprise Solar. Trying to force him to build a bunch of Lings. And there you go. 18 Lings on the way. And ByuN, he's pulling back. Stim is about to finish too. So these Lings are would have a tough time like trying to counter push or anything. So suddenly Solar has to build a bunch of Lings when he didn't want to. And that's really good movement from ByuN. It's tough, especially if you don't really play StarCraft, to understand that Zerg players, it's all about the rhythm of building drones and units. And ByuN his move across just kind of interrupted Solar's rhythm. He does have 44 drones out now, though, which is pretty solid, and he's going to need these Lings because the Marines are here with Stim and Combat Shield, and they are diving on these Queens. Lings trying to buffer for them a little bit. 26 more on the way. This push from ByuN is so strong. I think we saw this kill Scarlet earlier on today, but it's not going to kill Solar here. Solar is going to hold on. He built those Lings earlier, then his second wave of Lings will push this away. ByuN tries to snipe those last couple of Queens. He does get 4 of them and 44 Lings. It's a nice little set of numbers there. But Solar holds on. He's going to be able to drone up behind this and probably take a 4th base pretty soon. Still no 3rd command center from ByuN, although as I say that, he's going to drop one down. And there's that 4th base. Solar probably going to want to start up a lair fairly soon too, but prioritizing the Evo chambers to get those upgrades started. He doesn't have a lot of gas income right now. So once he spends his gas, that's gonna be it for a little while. ByuN just walks right across the map again though, and he's gonna be able to stop this base from coming up. That's a nice forced cancel there from ByuN. It's funny, we don't often see Marines just walking across the map, no medevacs, no way to escape really. But just knowing Solar probably doesn't have a Bane Nest, and he doesn't. He probably doesn't have enough Lings out because he's been droning. It's a good showcase of ByuN understanding how the Zergs react to certain information and how they'll react to certain situations, right? And with the exception of probably Dark, I think you can pretty much count on a Zerg. Yeah, they're going to drone up after holding off an attack like that first one. It's going to make it a lot harder to hold those Marines just walking across the map. You just don't see it very often, so Solar wasn't ready for it. Ends up working out really well for ByuN. I say the exception of Dark because he's the kind of player that, in that situation, would have just already had a Bane Nest finishing and made nothing but Lings and Banes after, and then ByuN walks across and dies. Like, so much of this game depends on who you're playing too, which is kind of a really, it's a fun aspect of it. A Solar forced to cancel his base again as ByuN does have the medevacs this time. He comes back across with a tank, 2 medevacs. That's going to make these stims a lot less painful for him. Solar pulling back. Obviously, Bane speed not done yet. Those Banes are here, though. Still a little bit dangerous for these Marines. But ByuN sieging up the tank in range of this drone line. That sucks for Solar because he had to cancel this base earlier. And now ByuN is here with Marines as well, putting pressure on. Solar's going to try to swarm this, though, taking down this tank. The tank going to get a couple of nice shots off on the Banelings first. The Marines are forced to lift up and get out of there, but Solar has to cancel this base again, and he's still just on 3 bases, and this has bought so much time for ByuN to get his economy up to the same base number and actually a higher worker count here. Just for a second, that was a higher worker count. ByuN got to be feeling very good about his economic situation. Solar does have a nice army on the map. He's got a lot of Lings and a handful of Banes. Bane speed is almost done. His 1-1 is finished, whereas ByuN's +1 armor isn't quite done yet. Whoop, gotta get out of here. Trying to lift up, but doesn't quite work out. That tank goes down. But ByuN, again, he's just never in one spot at a time, is he? Hitting down in the 3rd base now, killing 5 drones. Those are drones Solar cannot afford to lose. Solar's economy is garbage right now compared to where he wants to be. Losing 5 drones is just so painful. And ByuN takes that opportunity to clean up some creep. Backs up, gets some more reinforcements, and he's just going to keep that pressure on, I think. As he builds a 2nd factory, starts up his 2-2. He's got +1 on the way for the tanks as well that are coming out. Solar, though, he's building more and more Lings, finally getting the drones back out as well. He's got the infestation pit to get to Hive, a Hydra Den on the way. But ByuN is here right now. He's sieging up these 3 siege tanks in very annoying positions, and Solar's 4th is feeling a little bit vulnerable. The Lings and Banes, though, going to come in from both sides. There are Marines on the backside, but is it going to be enough here for ByuN to hold this position? It feels like Solar might be able to clear it, but it's so painful for him. And no, the Marines hold strong on the back line. One of the tanks survives. Oh, these Banelings are going to come in. The tank is just going to blast them. Queen's going to try to push forward onto the siege tank now. Oh, but the tank retargeting onto those Banelings, and all the Banelings go down. The Lings are not going to be enough on their own as reinforcements show up for ByuN, and it feels like ByuN is poised to tie this series up. I don't know if Solar is going to have enough to keep pushing this back. His army supply keeps falling. GG gets called, and ByuN takes game number 2. What a sick game there from ByuN. Really, really nicely played. Just taking advantage so much so of the way I think Solar expected that game to go. That early Marine push out, it's a lot of off timing things. And again, it's that rhythm of the Zerg player. Droning, building units, droning, building units. And there's a lot more mixed in there, right? You're droning, teching, creep spreading, building units, droning, teching, injecting, creep spreading, building units. But it's very rhythm based. And interrupting that is so powerful against a Zerg player. ByuN expertly interrupted that game, and it just put Solar in a really funky place. And the multi-pronged follow-up, it becomes so difficult to deal with being attacked in multiple places at once when you don't have as many units as you'd like to have, or you don't have as many drones as you'd like to have. So rebuilding the units becomes more and more difficult. That's kind of what we saw that game was. Solar's economy was a bit lower than he would have expected it to be. So he was taking trades that would normally have been okay, but because his economy was so hurt and ByuN's was so totally fine on his side of the map, it ended up feeling pretty bad for our Zerg player. But it went quite well for our Terran. Tied things up in that last game. Now we're getting into game 3. In the upper left-hand corner, it is our Terran player for the Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. And his opponent in the lower right is, of course, the Onside Gaming Zerg player in the blue, Solar. Now, Gressvan has given us some excellent TVZs since it's been in the map pool. This has been one of my favorite maps, I think. Just because of the, like, super long games we've gotten on this map. This is the map that I've seen battle cruisers on, carriers on. I think every single unit in the game I've seen on this map, which I cannot say for a lot of the other maps in this map pool. Like, this map, it actually, I think, brings out the best in a lot of players. I wish I could identify exactly what it is about the map. I'm not very good at analyzing maps. It's actually the reason that I don't usually take part in any of the Team Liquid map contests or anything. Something about, like, I don't know, I can never quite understand why certain maps are good for certain races, or I don't know, how they interact and how the different pathing can work to your advantage. I understand a lot of the basics, but it's not super intuitive to me. Which is funny because, like, in real life, I'm really good with maps. Like, real life maps, I'm great. I'm great at it. I just took a trip to a town nearby here, a place called Leavenworth. I was gone for a few days. I was there with a bunch of friends. It was like 8 of us. And I did a decent amount of the driving in that area. And I don't know, like, I felt like I understood the area really well after just being there for like a day. I'm usually I have like a good internal map in my brain. But when it comes to StarCraft maps, I'm like, well, I don't know. It's a map. Somehow. Maybe it's a function of playing all 3 races for too long. I feel like that is a part of it. Because I don't have any, like, super in-depth knowledge of playing one race, because I just kept swapping races over and over again, it becomes really difficult to know a lot of the, like, really nitty-gritty ins and outs of each race that you get to learn when you just play one race, like, over and over and over again. ByuN being very annoying with these Reapers this game. It's another 3 Reaper opening. Just following it up with the standard, it looks like this time. 3rd CC, 2-1-1. Let's get those Stim Marines out. Kind of nice to see on this map. Again, I love the games this map has given us this, this season since it's been here. This is probably the only map I'll miss from this map pool, is Gressvan. But yes, I am Seattle-based. I am in the Seattle area. To all of you Pacific Northwesterners out there. Although, why are you in chat if you're from Pacific Northwest? It is 6 o'clock in the morning. You're either up way too early or way too late. Go to sleep. Either way, you should all be asleep right now. Some dang degenerates in here. I say as I'm also awake at 6 a.m. It is funny, I haven't done this for a while. I haven't done the, like, stay up super late, mess my sleep schedule up to cast StarCraft in a hot minute. Been casting pretty much just with my normal schedule. This one's been kind of hard, but it's kind of nice to do this again, to feel the passion changing my sleep schedule so I sleep from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. because that's what I did yesterday. And that's probably what I'm going to do today. It's pretty good, you know? It's also funny streaming and just seeing a completely different set of people in chat because the people I normally stream to are asleep right now. Shout out to those guys. I guess that's the nice thing about watching on my YouTube channel, which you should all definitely subscribe to, is that you can watch it anytime you want. If my bot was working in chat, I wouldn't have to post my own YouTube channel in chat. Imagine. All right, we got a little auto turret harass here. Quick pull from Solar, though. This auto turret doesn't look like it's going to get any damage done. The push going to try to get the real damage done here. Solar, though, in position to handle it. ByuN just trying to trade as well as he can against this stutter stepping for his life. My God. There's more stutters than there were steps. Another auto turret pops in, though. Finally, Raven going to be able to get a little bit of damage done, but yeah, just one drone. Honestly, this has been very well handled by Solar. Great defense. ByuN hasn't really committed a lot to it, right? But just trading out Lings for Marines here, I think is generally going to be favorable for the Zerg. But ByuN's economy looking pretty good back at home. Solar definitely needs to get that drone count up a little bit. ByuN is cruising on 3 bases, so this 4th base got to get saturated. And Solar is heading in that direction. He's got a few drones coming out. Focusing on getting the Lings and Banes out right now, though. He does have 1-1 finishing up soon. In fact, both players do. It's going to time out pretty well. They'll both have 1-1 at about the same exact time. Enclair. Bane speed still a ways off. That makes it a little bit easier for ByuN to be out here and doesn't have to be quite as afraid of those Banelings. Lings deciding they can fight this, actually. This is not that scary. One of mine's finishing off those Marines. Ooh, this Raven getting low. 14 hit points on that bad boy. She gotta get out of there. ByuN has a lot of barracks. He's just going to be pumping Marines and Widow Mines as he's got that drilling clause on the way. It is 2 factories, too. So it's going to be triple Widow Mine production. Solar's 5th base. It looks like it's going to be forced to be canceled here. Marines finish it off, and they'll pick up and get on out. Drone going to retake that immediately. There's another push to the bottom side here. ByuN trying to break through those rocks. I don't think Solar has... Oh, he does have vision of that.
Forces are under attack.
Queen's really pushing out here, trying to pick off these medevacs, or at least push them away. There are some Lings and Banes down on the bottom side, ready to defend this area. Solar pulling back, though. It feels like he can fight this. Oh, he's got to be so careful. 7 kills on that Widow Mine. Gets, I think, most of those were Banes. Lings in the main, plus the Spore Crawler, and a couple of Hydras, though. Going to push this away. Nice defense so far from Solar, but the Marines are not quite done yet. They're going to try to dive in on this mineral line. Solar is here, though, to push this away once again. He has taken very little economic damage this game. Only 3 drones have gone down. This has been very, very good for Solar. He's up at 86 workers right now. And this is reminding me of game 1 in that it feels like Solar is weathering that storm over and over again from ByuN, brushing off the damage. And I'm getting worried that ByuN is not going to have enough to stop a push from Solar in a little while. Unless these Widow Mines keep hitting like that. 15 kills on this one. Jesus. Some big Widow Mine shots here out of ByuN. But here comes the Doom drop. There are 2 Spore Crawlers in the main, though. That's going to make it a lot harder to get these medevacs through. The medevacs will get in. There's not a lot of units here, but the Lings and Hydras showing up. Ooh, they need to stay here. They tried to turn around and go back. Solar trying to defend both here and at his third base. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to clean up all these Marines just yet. The medevacs did go down. He defended down here. 7 drones dying, but ByuN's army did fall as well. I think he traded quite nicely, though. If we look at the supplies, Solar only up a little bit right now. It's mostly just in drones. But being up in drones means he should be able to remax very quickly. ByuN's starting to shove across again, though. He's got a lot of Marauders with this one. Going to make the Banelings a little bit less impactful. Drop to the top side, trying to distract Solar, maybe kill some drones. Pull his army away from this location, which is where the main push is actually coming. I mean, that little single medevac is not what Solar needs to be focusing on right now. He's got to focus on this main army. As it's going to start pushing up this ramp, there are a few Widow Mines with this as well, and so far those have been the bane of Solar's existence. Speaking of banes, they're going to dive on forward, try to trigger some of these Widow Mines, but so far the Widow Mines not going off. Baneling's connecting a little bit, but Solar's going to need more than that. ByuN is continuing to push through. Oh, the Baneling's getting some connections. Widow Mines going off with some friendly fire there, killing some of the Marines and Marauders. ByuN's got to retreat. Army supply now skewing a little bit towards Solar as he takes that lead for the first time in a while. ByuN on 69 workers, which, as nice as that is, it's not that nice. It feels like he might want a few more workers, considering Solar has been chilling in the 80s for a while. That income definitely in favor of Solar here, which allows him to take not great trades, but the trades have been pretty close. I mean, just over 1,000 resources different. That's really not bad considering how much more Solar's been mining. This is a big drop coming in right now, though, and there are no Lings and Banes to help deal with this. Some units getting split off, but Solar needs to make sure not to send too many over there because he's got a whole ass army over here threatening his what base is that? Is it 6th base? I think a lot of Queens might have died in that one. A bit unfortunate for Solar, but he's hit maxed. He's got 92 drones. He's got lurker upgrades on the way. He's going to try to clear this, push this back. However, that drop to the north side is still there. Some huge Baneling connections pushing ByuN away. A parasitic bomb to try to kill some of these retreating medevacs. And meanwhile, the drop to the north side is held off by the Lings and Banes. Queens here as well, just to make sure this drop gets pushed away. Whew. Caster voice getting tired. But ByuN, he needs to get into more stuff behind this. He needs to start getting into ghosts. I feel like Ghosts and Tanks needs to happen here. He does have the Ghost Academy. Okay, there are a few ghosts coming out now. That is very, very important. Just 4 at the moment. But as those lurkers start being made, ByuN's definitely going to want to have those ghosts out. No lurkers just yet. Solar's max, so he's going to have to trade some units out before he gets the lurkers in. But he's got one of the lurker upgrades and the other one's halfway done. They realize they might just be able to take this fight. They will push that army back. The 5th base for ByuN is on the way, but it feels very late here. It feels like ByuN's been so focused on pushing that he's not focused on just expanding, keeping his area going, getting, you know, more tanks out, more tech out. My God, that was a big hit. He is getting into those ghosts. 4 command centers on the way at once, spending that money. But it feels like Solar's doing a much better job of taking his half of the map. He's got almost every base on his half. This is the only base left for him to take. And, I mean, they're up. They have creep spread in front of them. He's got 92 drones. He can transfer some drones up here and start mining from this base. This is feeling like a good late game setup for Solar. But again, he doesn't have those lurkers out just yet. He's got a couple of Vipers, but not a ton. He's getting those upgrades going as well. Burrow. Important late game upgrade. He's trying to find a way in to kind of crack into ByuN. I guess the nice thing for ByuN is when you have less bases, it's a little bit easier to hold them all. Solar's going to try to dive in on top of this base. He wants to kill this command center. The Banelings running forward into the Marauders and the Marines. Oh, there's some attacking happening here as well. The Banelings busting through. He burrows the Banes, but the scan goes down. ByuN was paying attention. Oh, this command center is getting low, but ByuN's going to be able to save it, at least for now. But as I say that, the Banelings smash into it. Solar sacrificing a little bit to kill that 5th CC. Is it worth it when there's so many command centers behind it? I think so, because it's so late. I feel like this puts ByuN in kind of a terrible position. I'd love to see him take this one. Or that one. Yeah, that's cool too. Solar, in the meantime, he pulls back. He does have that, well, he did have that empty supply to build lurkers if he wanted to, but he's just not. He's just not building lurkers. He is getting a Nidus Worm. He's getting Adrenal. Meanwhile, high-sec auto tracking and building armor coming out of ByuN. What a beautiful thing. Neo Steel armor. Isn't that what it's called? And they combine those two upgrades. Solar looking to try to hit in a couple locations here. The Widow Mines, though, helping out quite a bit. This little drop going to be able to do some damage. I love the EMP on the Queen. Not something you see all that often. Solar, though, he's going to come in right here. Oh, look at that blinding cloud. That is beautiful. But there are some tanks behind it going to hold on. 9 SCVs go down. ByuN has not had a great worker count this whole game. So it's actually kind of important that ByuN is losing workers right now. 65 SCVs is not a ton to have when we're this late in the game. It means his army can be very strong, but it also means he's not going to have that replenishment quite as quickly. And, well, Solar, he's getting cheeky here. He's got the Nidus Worm coming up in the main. There is nothing hitting it, actually. Okay, ByuN's got a couple of medevacs coming in, but it was a bit of a distraction to try to hit this base again, because I don't think there was anything actually in the Nidus Worm. But Solar, he's keeping that pressure on. He's got the lurkers coming out now. I saw a few of them morphing earlier. He's got pathogen glands on the way, so he can start getting infestors out. He's taking a base that is on ByuN's side of the map. I wouldn't even hate to see him try to take this base and just try to push ByuN back as much as he can. Drops another Nidus Worm. ByuN, I think he has spotted this. He's got the sensor tower there. But again, the moment it gets spotted, Solar comes right back in. He's trying to take this position down. A couple of blinding clouds go down. ByuN very late to react. The Ghosts trying to stay alive here and get their snipes off. Ghosts are very tanky, and they can catch some of those retreating units, but that is a dead command center. More dead SCVs. Oh, man, and Solar continuing to try to get these Nidus Worms up. There are lurkers in the Nidus Worms, so if they get up, that could be very painful for ByuN, whose mining is getting kind of low here. Nidus Worm finally does complete. Solar's just getting ready to attack up here once again. It's crazy how we haven't seen the lurkers actually do anything so far this game. Nothing at all. Oh, here we go. One lurker. Look at it go. Ling will finally be killed. ByuN will finally be able to take this base. But in the meantime, Solar is back over here. And he is trying to put pressure onto this base once again, which is not being allowed to mine. With no Vipers, you can't really do anything about these tanks. And Solar is spending a lot of money. Now, he has a lot of money. His bank is looking pretty juicy right now. But he is spending a lot of money to do this. But this time, he's found a very small portion of the army. This side seems to be doing quite well, but ByuN is going to lose yet another base here. He's just not been allowed to have the economy he really needs. He's going to come over with the Ghosts and try to push this back. Solar will oblige and retreat, at least temporarily. We see Solar's just been mining so much more this whole game. And he wants to keep it that way. He just wants to keep this pressure onto ByuN. He doesn't care that he's taking terrible trades. If he can stop ByuN from mining over and over and over again, eventually ByuN is going to run out of minerals at these bases he's mining from. And that's when Solar can just push through for the win. Again, Solar's bank is huge. ByuN is at 170 supply and has no bank. And it's a huge difference in terms of the economy. Solar's going to roll in again. Oh my god, those blinding clouds are so good. Even pushing the Ghost back a little bit there. And another base fall, 16 more SCVs. Solar in a commanding lead right now. As these Lings even burrowing, they will get scanned and killed, but oh man, Solar just not stopping at all. What did I say? I was like, I'd love to see him take this base. And he's just gonna go for it. He's trying to take every base on the map right now. ByuN on 4 bases, 2 of which are mining barely, and that is it. His mining is so bad right now. His income is a quarter that of Solar's. It is insane how much more Solar is mining right now. And Solar can just throw units at ByuN all day. He will be getting kills of units that ByuN is going to have a tough time replacing. I was so inefficient, but he killed 15 SCVs and he stopped mining on one of ByuN's 2 bases. It's crucial. In fact, ByuN's not mining like at all right now. Oh no, dude. He needs to get those SCVs working again. Finally, drops some mules. He mule hammers the crap out of this base. But even with all those mules, Solar is still mining so much more, and he comes right back in again. Even Lings coming up from this side, drawing some of that tank fire. Solar doesn't care that the trades aren't good. It doesn't matter. He is crushing this game right now. And even if ByuN was able to get a fully 200 supply army going and start pushing across the map, it would take him so long to chew through these bases. Solar could just run around and avoid them. He's got the whole map. Look at this map. Look at the creep just closing in on ByuN from every single direction. There's just, where does ByuN go? How does he stay alive in this game? And I think the answer is he doesn't. He fights it out as long as he can, but it looks like Solar is poised to take game number 3. I just don't see a way out of this for ByuN. His economy is not good enough to build the army he would need. ByuN is under 100 supply right now. He has almost no mining. His army is paltry. As good as it is technically, it is paltry. And the amount of snipes he would need, oh, the fungal, and that'll close it out. Solar, he takes game 3 and goes up to match point in this round of 8 match. Solar looking very strong there. He is a insanely scary late game player. And as we see, a lot of that, it wasn't even late game units. The late game units aren't really that scary from Solar. That's not what is terrifying about him. What's really scary about Solar is just how he's able to get his macro going, get those extra bases up. He was expanding so much faster than ByuN, and able to defend all those expansions consistently. He had to cancel a base there. You know, he lost a few drones, but really his defense was so strong. And then it was just about Lingbane Hydra. You know, he got a few support units out, but it was about how he used those base units later in the game to push through to the win. And it felt like he was just choking ByuN out. ByuN just, I don't even know what you do there. It felt like ByuN needed to expand earlier, maybe transition to further tech earlier, maybe beat Solar to the punch, because once Solar had that advantage, he'd not let go of it at all. It was a beautiful game. Gresfon again blessing us, and now we're in game 4. We're on Neo Humanity, which is the most interesting map in this map pool, I would say. The only kind of weird map in this map pool. So kind of nice we get to see this one here. Game 4. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner for the Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN, who now has to win 2 in a row to get to that semifinals. His opponent in the upper left-hand corner is on match point. Just needs to win one of the next 2 games. And he will be facing off against his teammate Maru. It is Onside Gaming's Solar. ByuN gonna drop those 2 barracks in the front wall here. get those Reapers going. See which variant he decides to go for in this game. Now, when I've seen Dark play on this map, we were watching earlier, it was Ragnarok on this map too. Those guys seem to like to go for kind of heavy roach compositions, big roach attacks. I think Ragnarok did like a one base roach ravager thing earlier against Maru. That was really cool. Was that today? Was that on this map? Or am I thinking of a completely different match? You know, my memory's just not. It's just not great. I would say these days, but it's just never been great. Can't remember those specific details. In any case, I think it was Ragnarok doing some cheeky roach play on this map. I know Dark loves to do roach builds against Terran on this map. We'll see what Solar wants to do here. So far, he's been sticking pretty heavily with the Ling Bane. But obviously, he's got some roach ravager cheekiness up his sleeves if he needs to. Wouldn't be shocked to see him pull something like that out. In the meantime, it's Reaper City. It's Reaper o'clock in Reaper City. And ByuN is the mayor of Reaper City. I don't know if you guys knew that. He's the mayor of Reaper City. It's always Reaper o'clock in ByuN's house. Third Reaper joining up. ByuN not going to build any more than that. Well, he does have that third barracks on the way again behind this. A little bit of a stronger Marine follow-up like we saw in game 3, I believe it was. Reaper's going to just be annoying here. Work on this hatchery. Try to get the health down. Now, we have seen the follow-ups kill the third hatchery. That is a thing that happens occasionally. I think the Zergs have gotten a little bit better at dealing with it. But it can be really difficult to deal with. And that's part of the power of the 3 racks follow-up. Here from ByuN. He's going to have a lot of Marines heading across the map. The hatchery is about half hit points. And if ByuN can get a kill, that'd be a huge start to the game. And he needs to get some big advantage here because, I mean, Solar's looked so strong in the mid game. If Solar is able to deflect the early game shenanigans from ByuN, it feels like the mid game Solar is just, he's too buttoned up. Even if ByuN, it seems like he's doing okay, as long as Solar stays alive in the mid game, it feels like he just keeps getting further and further ahead. Or not even further ahead, but it's like he's getting closer to being ahead. Like he might feel a little behind, but as long as he stays alive, eventually he will get ahead. And it's kind of a weird thing that Solar just feels like he's on the back foot sometimes all game until all of a sudden he swings forward. And it's such a cool thing. Now ByuN's going to do that push again. This is actually what worked really well for him in game 2. Just the Marines and Reapers running across the map to get some damage done. But this game, it looks like Solar is very prepared for it. He is ready to go. He's got 10 more Lings on the way. In game 2, it really surprised him. But he's not being surprised anymore. He knows what he's about. And he's not going to let ByuN get that damage again. Yeah, and this is, again, it's just classic Solar, right? Just the solid defense. He's looked so good defensively in this series against ByuN. It really was just the game where ByuN surprised him a little bit with the first push, caught him off guard with another group of Marines just walking across the map. Solar, watch out. Whew. Oh, those Lings down there were gonna stay down there. This is my favorite aspect of this map, is this area right here. I think it's what makes this map kind of fun and unique and a little bit different than our standard set of maps, which is what everything else in this map pool is right now. Is pretty extremely standard. They have their variations, of course, ByuN is actually going to push in here. A couple of queens getting hit. Lings coming out to play now. No Banelings right now, though, so the Marines happy to take this fight. Oh, no, but they're not happy to die in the medevac. ByuN a little late to pick up. Loses a big group of Marines there. That was a full medevac. And Solar got to be feeling real good about that one. Suddenly, the reinforcement Lings are going to be able to swarm this. I mean, I don't like that ByuN's pushing out again. He just lost so much. If he had that second medevac full of Marines, yeah, this army would look a lot better. But as he comes in here now, it feels like a paltry force, and it feels like there's going to be enough Lings and Banes to stop this. And Solar's going to be able to spot that this is coming relatively early. I don't think he knows about the tank necessarily. But he's going to try to counterattack as well. There's no third base up for ByuN, though. It looks like he's going to try to take the base behind the gold minerals there as he keeps this pressure on. Second tank does show up. The tanks in this annoying position can be tough to deal with. But I feel like Solar actually has enough here to deal with it. And his economy is better enough than ByuN's. I feel like clearing this up would be a really, really good move. We just have some Lings on this side. That's a lot of Lings getting ready for a counterattack. They're going to spot this Marine drop as ByuN's trying to hit in two places at once. The problem with ByuN's tank positioning is it's not really putting pressure on this base. His base is kind of just chilling right now. And it's up to the Marines to put that pressure forward. They're a little bit less scary than just the tank sitting way back behind the wall. And Solar going to bring all these units across to clean this up. The base stays alive, but I don't think ByuN's army is going to stay alive. It's going to have to pick up and get on out of there. That tank is going to go down. Gets one more shot in before it falls. And now ByuN, with no third base up just yet, he is floating this one over, but this feels so late. I mean, we are 8.5 minutes into this game. He does have a little hit squad out here, but Solar's fourth base is up and running. He's going to pump out 10 more drones. He's got a fifth base as well that he's sending some of those drones to. Pushes this drop away, and Solar, he's got so much stuff right now. The one thing he doesn't have are any Hydras. I don't know if he has a Hydra Den. Not yet. He's got an Infestation Pit coming up, but no Hydra Den, just playing pure Ling Bane for the moment. I feel like a couple of Hydras would make it a lot easier to deal with these medevacs when they try to pick up. I also feel like Solar could probably counterattack. He's up 40 supply on his Terran opponent. Usually Ling Bane, he doesn't have to be up supply to be good. It's very supply efficient. These are low supply units. You can have a lot of them with low supply still. And Solar being up 30 supply at this stage of the game and up in upgrades as well. I just noticed Solar's 1-1 is done. His 2-2 is almost finished. ByuN only has +1 armor halfway done, and +2 attack just started. Oh man, this is about to be an insanely huge lead in the upgrades for Solar. ByuN needs to make magic happen here, guys. He is down 60 supply. Solar's on 81 drones. He's getting into a hive. He just has too much stuff. I mean, ByuN has to not only take an insanely good trade, he's got to like kill a base while defending without losing anything. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He is getting nice and turtly back at home. I think that's what he needs to do. He's taking a lot of damage on this medevac, but he's going to hit the main. And you know what? There is nothing here for Solar. Solar very late to respond. There's going to be another dead spawning pool before Adrenal's able to finish. Looks like Solar might be able to clean this up. Oh my god. But in the meantime, the Terran base, it's getting infested. The Banelings, oh, these SCVs are so low. Oh no, and the Lings, they're finishing them all off. And while Solar holds on the other side, he kills 38 SCVs, and with that, he closes out game number 4. And Solar will be our 4th and final member of the semifinals, setting up to face his teammate Maru tomorrow in the KSL Summer Slam.